Hey everyone, welcome to day 24 of the Lent 101 series. Today's topics are conspiracy, deceit, and fraud.
Morning star, morning star, we welcome you. He's the food and the offering of David, the father and the son of the morning star.
So, what is conspiracy? Conspiracy is a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. And what does scripture say about conspiracy? A big example of conspiracy is from Genesis 37. And basically, a bit of context, you can read it in your own time. Joseph is the youngest brother of many brothers, and he is favoured by his dad. And the brothers are jealous, and hate fills their heart, so they conspire against him by selling him into slavery. Another example of this is in Luke 22, and is also referred to in the other Gospels, so Matthew, John, and Mark, is when Judas conspires against Jesus. And Judas was one of the 12 disciples, and he conspired against Jesus by betraying him, by handing him over to the people who would take him to be crucified. And the crazy thing is that Jesus considered Judas a friend. And the way he betrayed him was through a kiss on his cheek, so that the soldiers will identify that Jesus was the one and the man who needed to be crucified. So what does that teach us about conspiracy? Conspiracy is a heart issue. It's rooted in jealousy and hate towards others and not being content with oneself. So the thing about hate is it can start off so small, but over years it can fester and it can make people feel resentful and bitter, and that could easily make people act out of character or irrationally. So what is deceit and fraud? Deceit is the act of causing someone to accept as true or valid what is false or invalid, or the act or practice of deceiving. And what is fraud? Fraud is wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. A personal thing intended to deceive others, typically by unjustifiably claiming or being credited with accomplishments or qualities. And what does the scriptures say about these things? So in Luke 3:13-14, King James Version, it reads, And he said unto them, Exact no more than that which is appointed you. And the soldiers likewise demanded of him, saying, And what shall we do? And he said unto them, Do violence to no man, neither accuse any falsely, and be content with your wages. The passage is basically saying here that if we are at peace and content with what we have, then things like fraud and deceit won't come up, because there's no way to deceive one another for more if we are content with what we have and what we've been given. It's discontentment that can lead to things like conspiracy, fraud, and deceit. 1 Thessalonians 4:6 says that no man go beyond and defraud his brother in any matter, because that the Lord is the avenger of all such, as we also have forewarned you and testified. This basically means that there's no excuse for defrauding others, because you shouldn't do that in any matter. So what do these stories mean, and what do they teach us? They teach us that it is discontentment, and when we feel dissatisfied with our life, it can make us act irrationally and violently towards those we are supposed to love. Judas was a friend and someone who communed with Jesus, and Joseph was the brother of his brothers. They were literally blood. And yes, they did not share the same mother, but they were half siblings. And if we look at the end of the story of Judas and Jesus, Judas was so filled with guilt that he ended up committing suicide. And that just shows that even when we are deceitful, it puts a dampening and a stain on our souls, because we can't always live with ourselves after we've done something that is so wrong and hurtful, especially after we're not sure about what the repercussions have been on others, or if we are sure, and then that keeps replaying in our mind to the point where sometimes it's even hard to cope or live with. So the implications of conspiracy and deceit and fraud. These things are unrighteous and immoral. We are intentionally seeking to cause others physical harm at the expense and for our own personal gain. And that could be for any reason. That could be because you're jealous or envious of other people, or in Judas' sense, it could be for status and for 30 pieces of silver. But in the end, is it worth it? Is it worth it when you feel immoral, when you feel unrighteous, when you feel that guilt and you have to live with that? I hope this message resonated with you, and I hope that we'll be able to look in our own lives when we've conspired against others and we've had a heavy heart towards others because of the resentment and bitterness that we hold towards them. And I pray that this will help you reflect on areas where we need to grow and we need to acknowledge where we are bitter towards others, so that we do not get to the extreme of conspiring against others, defrauding others, and deceiving others. Thank you, and remain blessed. Thank you for tuning in to day 4 of our Lent 101 series. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms at Morningstar London, where we'll be uploading daily content to help you along your Lenten journey. Thank you, and stay blessed.